3rd, 2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. More than 120 Syrians have been killed in multiple attacks in the country perpetrated by the Islamic State. The attacks, of course, were all in areas controlled by the Syrian government, including simultaneous car bombs and suicide bombers attacking bus stations, hospitals, and elsewhere in the coastal cities of Tartus and Jableh. This is in Latakia province. Latakia province is very near a Russian airbase. The Kremlin made a brief statement expressing concern about the attacks, adding that the rising tension in the country underscored the need to continue with peace talks. The American insurer Baldwin Lyons, which was formed in the 1930s and has about 7 subsidiary companies, one of which is called Protective Insurance and Protective Reinsurance, has parted company with its senior management team. It's also brought in outside legal counsel for a comprehensive governance review over the circumstances surrounding the sudden retirements of 3 top executives. The firm said it appointed Randall Birchfield as CEO with immediate effect after the current incumbent, Joseph DeVito, had decided to retire along with the deputy chairman, Gary Miller, and the chief financial officer, Patrick Corridan. DeVito was also the president and chief operating officer. Baldwin Lyons said that certain matters brought to the board's attention in connection with the retirements of the 3 men warrant the outside legal review. Egypt is increasing its efforts to locate the black boxes of Egyptian Air Flight 804, which crashed Thursday from Paris to Cairo. The Egyptian president made his first public statement. President Abdel al-Sisi said that a submarine belonging to the petroleum industry, which is capable of reaching about 10,000 feet in depth, has now been deployed in the Mediterranean Sea to search for the black boxes. According to news reports, they are obtaining the pings from the black boxes so they know where the boxes are, but they have not yet been able to retrieve them. Speculation over the weekend continues with the release of information that the smoke alarms on the plane had been activated some 2 minutes before the plane crashed. There also was a report from an agency that collects telemetric data from airplanes that the co-pilot side window had exploded outward. So of course now there's thought that some sort of explosion had occurred on board, which caused the windows to not only be pushed out but also the fuselage to be filled with smoke. Speaking of smoke, the French insurer AXA has decided to stop investing in the tobacco industry. They cite the impact on public health. They say that it plans to sell its 1.8 billion euros of assets in the sector. AXA said it would divest itself of 200 million euros of equity holdings in the tobacco industry immediately, and it would run off about $1.6 billion in tobacco industry corporate bonds within the next year. According to AXA, the decision has a cost for us, but the case for divestment is clear. The human cost of tobacco is tragic. AXA said tobacco kills 6 million people a year, and that the figure is expected to rise to 8 million people by 2030, mostly in developing countries. United States health experts are saying that mosquitoes carrying the dangerous Zika virus are expected to begin infecting Americans within the United States in the next month or so. Anthony Fauci, who's the director of the National Institute of Infectious Diseases, said on American TV over the weekend that more than 500 Americans already have the Zika virus. But he said all those cases are travel related. He said that landscape is soon going to change as infected mosquitoes enter the American mainland. He said the concern is that we will have local transmission. In other words, people who get infected in the United States get bitten by a mosquito but who have never left the continental U.S. There are 2 primary species of Zika-carrying mosquitoes. They're expected to have a very wide reach. One species will blanket the American southern U.S. and reach as far north as San Francisco and New York City. Another species could spread widely along the East Coast and up into New England. President Obama is in Hanoi today. He announced that the United States is fully lifting a decades-long ban on the sale of military equipment to Vietnam. In a news conference with the Vietnamese president, he said that the removal of the ban on lethal weapons is part of a deeper defense cooperation with the country, and he dismissed any suggestions that it was aimed at countering China's growing strength in the region. He said it was a desire to normalize relations based on the ending of ideological divisions between our two countries. The Vietnam War, of course, ended 41 years ago. Oddly enough, the Chinese had a very, very passive response. The Foreign Ministry said that the arms sale ban was a product of the Cold War and should no longer exist. We are happy to see the United States and Vietnam develop normal cooperative relations. Vietnam and China have had a history of combat against each other. A troubled solar power station experienced a fire last week after misaligned mirrors set the tower on fire in the Mojave Desert and between California and Nevada. The facility, which is backed by Google, is a $2.2 billion facility called the Ivanpah Solar Electric Generating System. It generates power by focusing sunlight from an array of mirrors on the desert floor onto boilers at the top of three 440-foot towers, and then using the resulting steam to spin up the generator's turbines. It's quite a complex operation, and apparently any misalignment can cause trouble. And there was a misalignment of the mirror system that, instead of aiming directly at the boilers on the top of the 440-foot towers, actually set fire to the electric cables connected to one of them on one of the tops of the towers, scorching and melting steam ducts and water pipes. The facility has 350,000 mirrors under computer control. It's actually generated some complaints from airline pilots because of the reflection of sunlight up into the sky. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.